It's a front?
Yeah,
So why is it so small?
So I guess that would be my next question.
Let's hear it.
Or I guess supposition, however you want to put it.
Where does he put the tags when he puts them in his pants?
To my knowledge, we have not seen a human male put on a draping over his shoulders and his chest.
Well, Dodge did.
Well, no. Oh, if we're talking about the humans from the Planet of the Apes, no. If we're talking about
Correct.
humans that have come to Planet of the Apes, yes.
Okay, cool. So what? Maybe the reason it smells bad to him is he's putting on underwear.
That's not.
He doesn't realize
He's putting
taint smell.
Zira gave him 2 pieces of underwear.
You got 2.
Is that what it is? He doesn't know it, so he puts the leg hole over his head.
There you go. Wait, is this a crotch hole that I go through?
Well, I mean, we don't see the humans on this planet wearing that piece, right? Have we? Have we?
I don't think we've seen a male wearing a top.
Diapers.
Yeah.
They're all in fur
Maybe
diapers.
he's a savage stripper, and they have to have something to take off. So he's
Yeah,
that part.
woo!
Ba-dum-bum-bum.
Still got my dog tags.
Speaking of which, where does Brent put the dog tags when he puts them in his new underwear?
Well, that's
That's what
that's
I
a
wanna
great
know.
question.
He's
So,
got the Taylor secret.
That's where the dog tags came from?
ugh. So God help us if they ever make a scratch and sniff beneath the Planet of the Apes, because at
I
that
won't
point
smell
it's got you won't, Sean.
It's got a little fur patch on it, right?
Is that what?
Yeah.
So here's
Go
the
ahead.
big question I have: is why does Brent pick up the clothes, walk 3 steps, and throw them into the brush? He could have just tossed them where he was.
He just dropped them, yeah.
Yeah, or you could fling them from there, because he doesn't. We don't get to do that and make that effective. You have to have the shot that tells me he can't throw them here. He needs to go there. Even though that's a minuscule detail, it's stupid. It's like he picks them up and goes.
I don't know that even in this scenario and the fear of being caught by gorillas to be dissected, that I wouldn't have put my own clothes back into a
Pouch or
pack
something, try to
on the
keep them
horse.
on you just
I
in
agree.
case.
I would not have tossed them into the woods, if only because at some point I might be on a spaceship again, going back and doing space
Yeah, your
things.
goal is to try to find Taylor, and now you're getting rid of everything that could help you potentially. Yeah.
And I might want my astronaut underwear.
Hell, you don't know
They've
what the
been very
SPF.
protective up till now.
You don't know what the SPF is in this world. You
Right.
might need it to keep sunburn and.
Okay, so that is the little
Melanoma off
crotch
you?
wear that he puts over his neck. I did wonder,
There you
is
go.
that some kind of sunburn protection? Because he's very worried his shoulders are very
shoulders.
delicate.
He didn't want freckles.
Being a ginger yourself, Richard, do you worry? I mean, would that be something you would immediately? I know that gingers tend to have more fair skin. Do you burn easily?
I don't go outside.
Do you know it?
Not in the sunshine.
He hates that ball of cancer up there.
Look, being my German blood does the same to me. I walk outside. I don't. My lovely daughter tans. I do not. I walk out and I'm red. So I wondered immediately: does Brent, is he fair?
There's that
and he decides to put that over to cover
well,
himself.
I think, and again, we can't talk about future minutes, but there's just kind of this.
We can. Let's just do it.
We
No,
won't.
no.
Is that a royal we?
We'll talk about it in like a couple minutes.
Okay.
We're talking about the future minutes and
But
future minutes.
he's basically putting
Wait,
on
no,
the
not
stuff.
the future.
He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know any better. He's putting on the stuff that Zira gave him in the way he thinks that it's supposed to be worn and what it is, right?
Okay, there's something playful and fun about that. If that's really what he's doing, is he puts on the uniform wrong.
She gave on 2 pieces. She gave him 2 articles of clothing,
and he doesn't know
that's
what
funny.
they are.
That's funny if we then see Zira walk up and take
What?
what's
Take that
on
off
his
and say,
neck
"Why are
then
you wearing
put
this?"
it on his wiener? You know,
Yeah.
at that point, I'm not gonna go there, ding dong. It goes on that ding dong.
ding dong, ding dong. So this minute basically is the goodbye moment,
Right.
with Cornelius and Zira and Brent and Nova.
But is it?
for
I
this
don't know.
moment? It's the goodbye for this moment,
Right.
Right,
And-
based upon this minute, and the awkward changing of clothes, which is meant to be him becoming part of the society,
So in a film,
this reality.
so we've talked before, and films work on a structure, and this is minute 30.
So we're kind of like
32.
at the finish with the first
We're
act.
30
We
minutes
should-
in.
The
Yeah.
first act should be done. We should have had a change of events that have changed our perspective. Now, you could argue we've changed the perspective that
When
Brent's
Brent
on the
found
run.
out people are here, are
Brent's
monkeys.
now part of. He's now trapped in this reality.
Right.
The changing the clothes may signify that he is now trapped.
Like
here.
10 minutes before he found out that apes are talking, and now he's moved into a house.
Yes. Instead, we get a peekaboo moment. We get the two of them looking, at his
Oh,
junk.
is there a little
There's
tension between them?
There is zero urgency. of the story at this point. Because if you start thinking, there's so many great films you can look at with that 30-ish minute idea where a plot point occurs and we shift. There is nothing that is shifting the story.
Because
there is nothing.
I think
we know that he wants to go find Taylor. We know that he was shown a map by Cornelius of where it is.
Right.
The Forbidden Zone. We know that Zaius and Ursus are going there. And that's all we really know at this point. Ursus is afraid of something that's there.
I mean, I've used this as an example before. It just comes to mind. Star Wars, and I'm pretty sure I'm right about this, that the 30-minute mark is the Millennium Falcon blasting off or something to that extent. So the story has shifted. We are leaving. We're doing something. There's nothing here that says, other than, yes, he's accepted his role. Yes, he's doing these things. There's nothing that says our story is evolving.
Well,
there is no story.
Here's how it should have been structured then. It would have been, I don't know the length of time, how they would have worked this out, but it's Nova on her own on a horse finds Brent. Mm-hmm. Then they get going off, and he finds a tag on her and says, "Who is this person?" Then we get to eventually where they find the council debating. Again, we still don't know what's happened to Taylor. Then we get to Cornelius and Nova's house. I mean, Cornelius and Zaius' place. And then Zero. And then we get a flashback from when Zira pulls the tag off Nova and said, "You need to hide this." That's when Nova should grab it back. And then we have a flashback to what happened to Taylor that's when he's riding with her, escaping, and then there's I fell into the mountain and disappeared, and then you find out why she's not with him
and
anymore.
That's definitely a way to amp
and that
up.
would give us a half hour what happened.
Well, that amps up why Nova would be protective of it. And I am going to jump ahead and simply say that I want to look at this because I'm going to introduce the thought. Later on, we see that they go into Zira's medical compound or whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
That comes. Why, when they see the Ursus thing, why aren't they captured? They should be captured. The dramatic tension is escalated. That's how we're introduced.
I think
and it's reminiscent of the first one. You can echo the first one, but eventually what they're doing here, they're going to end up there anyway, and it makes more sense, and the story evolves correctly instead of this, hey, well, let's go sneak into your thing. Let's have a cute little moment. Let's put a Band-Aid on, go change our clothes, and then get captured. It's wrong.
We need to go to the next minutes.
It is, but
we need to go to the next bit because there's stuff that I want to comment on, but I feel like I'm just kind of taking away from those moments.
What I'm doing, and we've never hid that I've watched these films so many times. Watching these infuriated me because it is so poorly structured. That's why I'm putting it out here so that when we get there, I don't feel there's any way to converse about this without starting to say,
that's fine.
Look at the way this should have been constructed.
So if we were looking at the script specifically on this moment, it says, Brent and Nova Day emerge cautiously from the brush. They're on the crest of a small hill. Brent signals her to stop, and he goes forward. The camera swings back to Nova. She watches Brent. Quickly, he changes into human clothes. There's a moment's quiet. Then she moves towards Brent. Together, they very cautiously move toward the tethered horses. So there's no... Other than the fact that she watches him change clothes, there's I feel like
there's no direction.
They feel like they took this and kind of pulled this out and made something to it, and then the editor decided to keep all that in.
Well, and you can look at the way that it's shot, and it's two shots, and they simply directed
back and forth between them.
3 minutes. Which 3 minutes is 1/3 of a MAGA film. 3 minutes. Okay, give me this. Look at him. You see him naked. Do this. What do you see here?
And give me all the expressions.
And they constructed a scene out of whatever the director did into the lens.
Let's take the shot where we kind of pan up from Brent's feet to the fact that he's wearing boxers, so clearly something is happening. Nova's just off over there in the shot, but you can see her, but she's kind of watching. And then we have the head turn. I mean, they felt
like they had to bond them.
They pulled this out, yeah.
They felt like they had to bond them the way that Taylor was bonded to Nova. And what better way to bond them than to have someone undress and look at them oddly?
Yeah.
I see what they're doing, but you don't need it. I don't think they have to be a love interest to one another. But that's almost like what they wanted them to be.
So he rushes over, and the minute basically kind of ends with him hopping up onto the horse and her kind of walking towards the horse. It was definitely an interesting moment where we didn't see him grab her and pull her to the horse, which he's been doing so far.
Yeah, she's been very led by the hand. Literally.
Right. She just moves to the horse naturally, instinctively, after he mounts the horse.
Poor Nova's just led around everywhere. All she wants to do is go find somewhere just to chill.
She's trying to find Taylor.
Yeah.
That's all she wants.
Well,
because there's lots of loving with him.
Well, what I find fascinating about this, thinking about her and what she's doing. Yes, she's an extremely attractive woman wearing basically a caveman swimsuit.
Yeah.
Right. They really don't do a lot of shots to make her look sexy.
No.
She's just there being sexy. Whereas in modern filmmaking, we'd get a lot of kind of these side up shots where you get to see her full
The sun
figure,
behind
how
her,
tall she is, things like that. So they
it's
don't
so hot. I have to get this water off me.
they don't play her as a sex symbol, even though the scenario almost is her being a sex symbol.
And to that point, I want to clarify something I said earlier about that whole scene and how the Me Too thing. What I find refreshing is that the man is objectified in it. I do
True.
find that refreshing that we don't see that very often because, to your point there, what we would have had in just
It's
years
raining
past.
slightly, and she's all glistening.
Right,
in the
she would have been
dew.
over bathing her breasts and things
Very
like that.
baby oiled
and he
up
would
or
be the
whatever.
one going, "Oh yeah." Instead, they do it with him. But it's either way. When you objectify someone, it lessens the impact of who they are to that person or to the moment, and it's ooky. It's as ooky as anything else we've seen.
I think that's a problem with the Transformers movies. Megan Fox was just way too objectified. And if they had made her a real character, those movies would have been awesome.
I stand proudly by still saying I've never seen a single minute of any
And
of those
stand
movies.
by
of the
those.
Transformers,
Never one.
Oh my goodness, you're not missing out.
I didn't play with the Transformer toys. They hit like 2-3
yeah,
years after.
yeah,
It was just too young for me.
So
at the
Todd
time.
is the older brother I never had or
Yeah.
wanted. But I played with Transformers.
Uh-huh.
And
I didn't.
you're what, 5 years older than me?
5.
Yeah,
I
so
played with
he's got
Transformers as well.
the gap that was too far off.
It's there's a great show on, and I don't know if you've seen Netflix about the toys
history
that made
of toys. Yeah,
Yeah.
the
And
toys that
it's
made us.
great because
But you were just off that
and
target
He-Man
market.
were
Yeah.
just. I had
Right.
just turned, and I wasn't. I still loved my Star Wars things. I might go buy a figure here and there, but I didn't play with anything, so that doesn't mean anything.
No,
Sure,
yeah.
Transformers, I don't
get
Maximus Prime is like the only name I know.
Optimus
Optimus.
Prime.
Oh,
you
my
don't know
goodness,
names.
you don't even know the
There you go.
name.
I don't know.
Wow.
Okay, so that was Toy Talk on the end of Minute of the Apes.
Toy talk.
So that's minute 32 in the books. Anybody got anything they want to toss in on what people should do today? How about rate us? How about go out there and find us? Those ratings are massive. I don't know if you've ever spent time with podcast ratings. It really does mean something. Our listens are one thing, and the listens are great. They're growing all the time. In the time that we've taken off between Planet of the Apes and Beneath Planet of the Apes, they've grown exponentially. However, to get the top to where we start getting referrals, we need people to rate us. So please go to your favorite service, whether that be iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Cast. I don't care what you use. Please go on there and give us, especially a 5-star review would be great. Tell people what you think. Let us know so that other people can find us. Anyway, that's it. That is the end of my soapbox moment. We'll be back for minute 33 tomorrow. I am Todd, Richard, and Sean. You're you. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes.
The only good human is a dead